The St. Louis Cardinals and number 22, Prentice Gaunt, set out early to break into the win column. The Steeler defense is a tradition. It quickly digs in, but not soon enough. Gaunt has brought the Big Red within field goal range. Jim Bakken will swing his leg in 9 attempts. 7 will be good. Steelers' Bill Nelson, Pittsburgh's quarterback, is dropped by a hard Cardinal rush. It's a rush that proved relentless all afternoon. Cardinal pressure forced the Steeler offense into coughing up the ball 6 times, 3 on interception. Rookie quarterback Jim Hart goes to the play-action pass. Finding himself in heavy traffic, he busts the play. The savvied Cardinal line picks him up and paves the path to the end zone. Hart's 23-yard run will be the only touchdown Pittsburgh allows. The Steelers take possession deep in their own territory. Nelson only completed 8 of 25 attempts, but when he was on, there was a real sting. The longest gain of the day was this 48-yarder coming off the play action. Number 46, Chester Anderson, was also the game's leading receiver. Anderson is 6'3" and 245 pounds, a good target under any circumstances. A rookie quarterback is especially susceptible to a long, hard rush, and that's what breeds interceptions. Goal line yardage has become the private domain of Willie Asbury. It takes 3 tries to move the rugged Cardinal line. With the touchdown, the score stands Steelers 14, Cardinals 19. Hart comes right back, swinging Prentice Gaunt out of the backfield and into Steeler territory. The drive stutters, and even Jim Bakken can't pull off a salvage operation. The Big Red defense offered its own solution. Blitz, shoot the linebackers. Set loose the ubiquitous number 8, Larry Wilson. Mistakes are born from pressure, and the Steelers aren't exempt. The Cards wrap the Steelers again with the big play. Johnny Rowland is on the receiving end. Slanting off tackle, Rowland can't find the daylight. Enter Jim Bakken. Bakken went for 7 in 9 field goal attempts, breaking both the record for number of attempts in a game and the number of successful attempts. Throw in a conversion, and it adds up to 22 points. closing minutes, the Steelers come on gamely, running their 2-minute drill. The Cards are giving up the short ones without giving up any pressure on the quarterback. Kent next takes over for the last shot at a score. Both room and time run out simultaneously. The final score will stand. Pittsburgh 14, St. Louis 28. Jim Bakken broke records, but the victory was won in the line. St. Louis protected Jim Hart as efficiently as it harassed Bill Nelson.
For 12 years, Baltimore's John Unitas has starred in the NFL, but Philadelphia fans have never seen him in person. They'll discover today why Unitas is rated among the all-time greats as the Eagles battle the Colts. On Baltimore's first series, All-Pro tight end John Mackey pulls in a Unitas pass for an 18-yard gain. The isolated camera follows Raymond Berry, the man with a million moves, as he makes one of his miraculous catches. Only this one is out of bounds. Unitas and Berry have been plying their trade for more than a decade. They put Baltimore on the Eagles' one, but Philadelphia holds. Norm Snead pulls the Eagles out of the hole by throwing the ball more than 50 yards in the air to Fred Hill. A screen pass. Snead, to his big setback, Izzy Lang, helped set up a field goal and a 3-0 edge for the Eagles. In the second period, Snead throws to Timmy Brown on a play which attracts a flock of flags. The early going features knockdown, drag-out action. In this case, it's Mike Ditka who is being knocked down. Snead sets up another well-executed screen. Tom Woodashik is the receiver, and the Eagles are the beneficiaries of a 27-yard advance. Fred Miller and Ordell Bracy are also strangers to the Philadelphia fans, but not to Norm Snead. Their rush forces a hurried pass which falls incomplete and temporarily costs the Colts the services of linebacker Mike Curtis. Trailing 6-0 now, Johnny Unitas settles to his task. He's found a chink in the Eagle armor and exploits it with a 31-yard pass to Willie Richardson. On a 3rd and 9, Unitas spears Richardson on a slant pattern, and he carries 24 yards to the Philadelphia 2. Jerry Hill thumps into the end zone, and Baltimore jumps into a 7-6 lead. Approaching the end of the half, Unitas personally directs another Baltimore drive into Philadelphia territory. It reaches its climax when Richardson, despite double coverage, beats both defenders for a touchdown. Coach Joe Kuharich watches in frustration as Baltimore dominates the second half. Don Shinnick makes his second interception of the game. In this game, Unitas completed 22 passes. 11 of them went to Willie Richardson, good for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Snead ran afoul of the Baltimore secondary with 4 of his passes ending up in alien arms. Bob Boyd returns this one to the Philadelphia 6. Tony Lorick accepts the scoring chores, and the Colt lead soars 28-6. When a center snap sails over the head of Eagle punter Sam Baker, it triggers a chain reaction. Jerry Hill blocks the kick, and Roy Hilton recovers it on the 9-yard line. Veteran Lenny Moore eases into the end zone to complete a resounding 38-6 Baltimore victory. A disappointing day for Coach Kuharich, a rewarding one for the Colts' Don Shula.
The New York Giants journey to Dallas, Texas to face the defending Eastern Conference champions Cowboys. Both teams were winners last week, and they both meant to make it 2 in a row. It was a wild offensive show with the Giants striking first. Number 10, Fran Tarkenton, showed the Dallas fans why he's the new toast of New York City. About the hottest combination of the young season is Tarkenton to Homer Jones. Jones makes the opening touchdown look almost too easy. A Giant field goal made it 10-0 before Dan Reeves got Dallas started. Suddenly, lightning struck in the form of Bob Hayes. At first quarter's end, it was 10-7 Giants, and the Cowboys were still hot. Don Meredith opened the second quarter to Pettis Norman. Cowboy head coach Tom Landry believes that halfback Les Shy has unlimited potential. Meredith went with Shy again, and he blasted to the Giant 2. A classic play-action pass sent Dan Reeves home free with the second Cowboy touchdown and a new 14-10 lead. The Dallas defense held, and again, last year's total offense leaders took over. Dan Reeves, number 30, an offense by himself, moved to midfield where a penalty moved Dallas 15 yards closer. Bruised ribs bothered Don Meredith since preseason. This is why they won't heal. Fullback Don Perkins moved closer to the Cowboys' third score. With 3rd down and 6 on the Giants' 16, Pete Gent got loose in a mass of traffic to give Dallas a lead of 21-10 at halftime. The second half opened with a bang as Tarkenton found flanker Del Schaffner. Fullback Ernie Coy learned his trade as a Texas schoolboy. The Cowboys wished he'd never left Texas. It was an old-style razzle-dazzle end-around play that turned Homer Jones loose for 46 yards and a very close 21-17 score. But this Sunday, Dallas wasn't to be denied. Don Perkins for 9 tough yards. Last year, Reeves led Dallas in rushing, and this year he looks even better. Meredith, number 17, with the aid of Ralph Neely's blast block, picked up 20 more. This time it was left guard John Nyland, number 76, who opened the gates for Don Perkins as Dallas ended the third quarter, leading 28-17. Earl Morrill took over at quarterback in the fourth quarter and promptly threw a touchdown strike to Joe Morrison. And the Cowboys weren't through either. 2 former Olympians, Bob Hayes and Henry Carr, do battle. Hayes won this one. It was Hayes again who finished off New York and capped the wild 38-24 Cowboy win.
The New Orleans Saints launch a lighter-than-air machine, while the Washington Redskins launch a ground attack sparked by rookie fullback Ray McDonald. McDonald bowled for 98 yards, 17 more than all the New Orleans runners together. The new power on the ground opened up the Saints secondary. It was a 1-2 combination. A whistling jab coupled with a crushing body blow. Bill Kilmer countered quickly. A 65-yard explosion to Ray Pogue puts New Orleans in striking distance. Kilmer anticipates a Sam Huff blitz and throws a look-in pass to the vacated zone. When the Redskin defense digs in, the Saints settle for a 27-yard field goal. New Orleans almost immediately regains the ball. Kilmer abandons the jammed pocket and rolls up the sideline for 20 yards. A frustrated defender can sometimes become over-aggressive. It's an indiscretion on the other fellow's bench. Jim Taylor follows good blocking around right end. It's a 16-yard gain as the quarter ends. Tom Fears uses the pause to check his spotters. The information helps spring Walter Roberts for a 36-yard touchdown. The Saints lead 10-6. Jurgensen wants Mitchell to split the zone, but Dave Witzel plays the ball perfectly. Early in the second period, the Redskin defense asserts itself. They stop the Saints cold. All that remains is for the offense to pin down more than 10 points. Ray McDonald obliges with a 35-yard odyssey that establishes a Redskin lead which won't be relinquished. The Jurgensen to Taylor aerial circus commences, and the result is inevitable. The score stands 20-10, and Washington is pressing for insurance. Jerry Smith is the target. When it goes right, nothing goes wrong. Charlie Taylor just seems to attract football. Taylor also attracts a lot of traffic. When the defensive secondary tightens up, there's an antidote now. It's Ray McDonald. A 37-yard field goal by John Love capped the scoring. Redskins 30, Saints 10. Washington seems to have found a running game.
Willie Richardson is a reserve flanker for the Baltimore Colts. But don't tell this to Philadelphia fans, for Richardson literally leveled the Eagles. He caught 11, or exactly 50% of the Colt passes, for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Richardson was by far the best of the week.